What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? It is Friday. It is February 15th, and it is about 11:25 a.m. This is VR365 Live. I think, are we actually at episode 99? Let me double check here. I'm showing episode 99 on my thing, but I don't know if that's actually true. Yeah, I guess we are on episode 99. Wow. Yeah, are we going to have a grand celebration for episode 100 tomorrow? No, we're not. It's just another show, another day, another dollar, another penny, actually, maybe you could say. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so today I got to say that I've just been looking at stories. I was kind of busy all morning long. I was gone, had to run a few errands, had to go to my parole hearing again. Had to run a few errands and stuff, and so kind of a mad scramble to get prepared for today's episode, grab a few news stories that we could roll with, and just kind of go through it. And honestly, we don't really have any like singular major big story. We've got a lot of little minor things, so we might be looking at a bit of a shorter show. We might have to hit the mailbag, actually, because I don't know, I could probably run through a lot of this stuff in about like maybe 15 minutes or so. I don't think this is going to take a tremendously long period of time. But let's go ahead and get into it anyway. Okay, so what is the lead story of the day? And let's see here. Let me go ahead and get my situation situated. Let's see, what is our lead story of the day? And so I guess our lead story of the day, let's go ahead and bounce over to the Webby browser. And that would be this Doctor Who VR experience. So we know that a Doctor Who VR experience is coming our way. It is called Doctor Who: The Runaway. Now, this is an animated VR experience. It is not a live action with, you know, real actors and stuff. It's an animated experience. Fans of the show will get an opportunity to step into the TARDIS along with the 13th Doctor, who is played by Jodie Whittaker. The entire experience lasts about 12 minutes, and it's coming to selected VR headsets in the coming months. We don't know exactly which VR headsets. You gotta assume that this will probably hit Steam and the Oculus store, but of course, who knows with a lot of this stuff. There's actually a lot of different VR movies that are out there that you can't get them anywhere. And it's like, you'll hear a story, for example, Disney's Cycles. Has anybody ever heard of Cycles by Disney, which is some kind of VR thing that apparently has wowed a lot of people in a lot of different places, but there's nowhere you can go to actually watch it? Like, what's going on here? And I think it's kind of this conundrum that we're in, where companies might have created some type of cinematic VR thing. They're not in a situation where they can sell it, or they don't feel like they can sell it, and so they don't want to put it on Steam, they don't want to put it on Oculus Store, and they don't just want to give it away for free. So it's kind of like they're in this limbo. So like the only way you can see some of these things is go to Sundance Film Festival or some type of special trade show or something, and it's kind of bizarre how that is. But this Doctor Who experience, The Runaway, is apparently coming to selected VR headsets in the coming months. It is developed by Passion Animation Studios. Now, you might not be familiar with Passion Animation Studios, but this is the studio that was responsible for the Gorillaz VR music video that is quite popular, as well as Google Spotlight Stories' The Short Pearl. So that is Passion Animation Studios, and we could go ahead and bounce over here. This is their website for Passion Animation Studios, and I just thought we could scroll down and see if they have any other information on here. Doesn't really look like there's a heck of a lot going on here. They'll give you a little bit of, you know, some samples of what they've done in different categories here, and that's Into It, A Giant Story. But yeah, they've done a lot of different things. Let's see here. So here's some of the stuff that they've worked on here. I'm trying to see if any of these ring a bell for me. Not really. Scrolling through. Frankenweenie. Oh, they worked on that. Let's see. They worked on The Last Jedi. They've done some commercials and stuff. So yeah, but anyway, they did do Pearl, which a lot of people really like that, and they did the Gorillaz music video. And so they're the ones that are actually doing this Doctor Who experience that is coming up in the not too distant future. That is called the Runaway. If we go back over here, you can see a little bit of what it looks like, the animated look of it. Doctor Who The Runaway is an animated VR adventure coming to VR headsets. And the project is produced by the BBC's digital drama team, BBC VR Hub, and Passion Animation Studios. Doctor Who The Runaway is written by Victoria Asari Archer and directed by Matthias Chelborg, with music from composer Sigun Akinola, which I know I'm probably butchering all of those names. But that is probably the big story of the day at this point in time. Now, what other news do we have? Well, we can go ahead and bounce over. Well, you know what? On the PlayStation VR subreddit, one of the things that they're talking about over there is Five Nights at Freddy's VR, Help Wanted. This is coming to PlayStation VR, but unfortunately we have little to zero information, like no information on this. This is all that we got, is that there is an ESBR rating for Five Nights at Freddy's VR, Help Wanted. Platform is PlayStation 4. It was rated T for teen, fantasy violence, and it says this is a VR puzzle horror game in which players assume the role of a repair person tasked with repairing animatronic characters at a pizzeria. From a first-person perspective, players explore dark hallways, complete puzzles, and try to avoid menacing, malfunctioning animatronic figures. The game contains frequent screams and jump scares with the words "You are dead" appearing on screen after players are attacked. So yeah, that is Five Nights at Freddy, and Five Nights at Freddy's, that is coming to PSVR at some point. Like if we bounce over here to the PlayStation VR subreddit, you can see that this is a popular topic of discussion here, but we don't really have any additional information as far as I can tell. Just this ESB rating, that is basically it. And this guy's saying, oh snap, this game is bad enough in 2D with headphones on. Can't wait for the VR version. And a lot of people are saying, no thanks, but, you know, kind of joking around with it. But yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's VR, that is going to be happening at some point in the future on PlayStation VR, but no kind of a date for that. Paradise Decay says, I played a Five Nights at Freddy's VR experience and it was scary as hell. Forget that teen rating. Okay. Now, we can actually get into a little bit other PlayStation VR news that they're also talking about over here. And you might see this post right here. Sorry for your loss. Let's go ahead and click on this. In loving memory of Littlstar, 2016 through 2019, and they died. And so, yeah, the thing that's going on here, guys, is for those of you that don't know, we heard a little while back that Littlstar was going to be making a move towards premium. Now, at first, one of the things that we heard about this is that the USB side loading was still going to be free. That's what we heard in the beginning. Apparently, that is no longer the case. So basically, Prawn on PSVR is going to disappear in a major way. Because you're going to have to pay money. You're going to have to sign up for the premium version of Littlstar to be able to use the USB side loading. Side load your personal library onto your PlayStation VR with support for 360, 180, over, under, side by side, and traditional video. And that is how a lot of people were getting Prawn onto their PlayStation VRs. And that is coming to an end now that they are going premium. Learn more about premium. So yeah, you can take advantage of the limited time introductory rate. It's only $2 a month. So you can do that, or you can join my Patreon for $2 a month and join the Banana Club. Which one is better? $2 for unlimited prawn on PSVR, or $2 for unlimited bananas for me? So anyway, level up your PlayStation. No longer just games and TV. Your PlayStation can now display prawn in all of its 180-degree glory. So yeah, this is a terribly unfortunate thing. And in related news, use of PlayStation VRs has dropped by 70% overnight. Nah, just kidding about that. But I'm not sure exactly when this is all happening. I know this is happening very soon. I don't know if it's actually started already. Don't get charged until the service starts March 1st. So I guess you guys have until March 1st to get as much prawn as you can possibly get going there. And then the dream is going to come to an end. That is so unfortunate. But yeah, that is the way that it works with Littlstar. Okay, so those are a few news topics that we have. Let's see, what else can we get into? Well, of course, there is the Oculus Daily Deal. We cover it basically every single day, and we're going to cover it today as well. Now, this one is not tremendously exciting. We're looking at Snow Fortress for $10. That is a 33% dip. Normal price for Snow Fortress is $15. You got a little bit over 12 hours in this one. You can, throw snowballs around. Developer is Mythical City Games. This came out way back on December 16th, 2016. This has been around for a while. I've heard of this game, never played it, and don't really know much of anything about it. But that is Snow Fortress. That is your Oculus Daily Deal. Now, possibly the biggest news of the day, to be completely honest with you guys, might actually be the fact that we have a release date for Dick Wilde 2. Yeah, you might remember just a couple of days ago, I was going to have an amazing Nostradamus Jr. story where I was going to say, hey, where is the date for Shadow Legend VR, and where's the date for Dick Wilde 2? And then an hour later, the date for Shadow Legend VR was going to be revealed, and then the next day, Dick Wilde 2, the date for that was going to be revealed. But I kind of screwed up on that, and so nobody thinks I'm Nostradamus, even though I am. And so here we are, guys. This is coming out on Tuesday, February 19th. On Tuesday, we are getting Dick Wilde 2. It will be in the building. And so even though the date for Dick Wilde 2 is coming after we got the date for Shadow Legend VR, Dick Wilde 2 is getting the jump. This will be out on Tuesday. Now remember, if you're a PlayStation VR owner, Chroma Gun VR is also hitting on Tuesday as well. So we do have a couple of games that are popping next week on Tuesday. And of course, Dick Wilde is being brought to us by Bolverk Games. PlayStack, I believe, is the publisher here. I'm pretty sure there is AIM support for this. Dick Wilde is kind of underrated. It's basically a wavy-ass wave shooter. There's really no getting around that, but it is very colorful. It is very bright. It's kind of funny, and, it has that comedy factor. And I enjoyed Dick Wilde. Well, I enjoyed the first one to a degree. Considering it is a wave shooter and all those sorts of things, I actually kind of enjoyed Dick Wilde to a little bit of a degree there. But, Dick Wilde 2, I'm not sure how different this is going to be. They are adding a co-op element to the game, which that is going to be pretty cool. And let's see. It says players will be able to take on every single level and challenge in Dick Wilde 2 with a partner. So they are adding that co-op support. Giant enemy crabs, finding the right balance. One thing that we learned from the first game is that players were really divided on the hard difficulty. Some people loved it, while others loathed it. We have worked on making sure that Dick Wilde 2 has a better difficulty curve that helps players learn how to play the game before throwing them in at the deep end. So they've improved the difficulty curve. And yeah, I don't know. Dick Wilde 2 could be kind of cool. So that will be coming on next Tuesday. So we did get a date for that. Okay, let's see. What else can we get into? Well, you know, we got kind of a weird story here. Let's go ahead and bounce back over to Upload VR. And one story that we have is this story about Apex Construct and Apex Legends. And how funny is this? This really is funny because basically, like whenever I hear somebody say Apex Legends, for some reason, a part of my brain instantly thinks of Apex Construct. And I guess I'm not the only person out there on planet Earth that somehow has these two mixed up, because Steam views of Apex Construct have jumped by 4,000%. And there's actually a lot of people that have mistakenly, well, probably mistakenly purchased Apex Construct thinking they were getting Apex Legends. And so that's basically what this whole story is. Of course, Apex Construct is not Apex Legends, and a lot of people only realize this after buying it. Whoops. Juliuson, the CEO for Fast Travel Games, Fast Travel's Andreas Juliuson, he is the one that said he noted that the team expects to see a lot of refunds in the next few weeks, but our books look pretty good at the moment. That must have to suck a little bit. But maybe a few of these people will actually decide to get the VR bug and actually maybe try Apex Construct in VR. But yeah, it's kind of funny how that works out. Unbelievable. Incredible increase in views of Apex Construct Steam page. 4,000%. That is pretty amazing. So that is Apex Legends and Apex Construct. People getting those two confused. All right. Another little tiny story that we got here is Rec Room. So we knew this day was going to come. And this day is apparently, well, actually, I guess this may have been yesterday. So we always knew that it was simply a matter of time before Rec Room goes down the monetization route. And they have gone down that route. So Rec Room mini update is out there, and you could purchase what are known as Rec tokens, are available for purchase on Steam and Oculus. And you will also be able to buy these Rec tokens on PlayStation at some point in the near future. So while playing via Steam or Oculus, find Rec tokens for purchase in your Watch Store Get Tokens. Note that due to Sony policies, Rec tokens purchased on PC and items purchased with Rec tokens on PC will not be accessible on PlayStation VR and vice versa. Though earned items will always be available on all platforms. If you have any issues with a purchase, please reach out to tokens@againstgrav.com. So yeah, the monetization has begun. It hath begun. We knew that this was going to happen at some point. And, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. And if anybody deserves a bit of monetization, it is probably Rec Room, because they've brought a lot of joy to a lot of people over the last couple of years. You can see that the original release date for Rec Room was way back on June 1st, 2016. So they've been going, I mean, this June, the 1st of June, would be 3 years for Rec Room. And just now have they begun the monetization process. So this is a free-to-play game. One of the things that does irritate me about Rec Room, and I'm not going to lie, this is something that irritates me. I cannot stand this. This goes back to my console days. Every once in a blue moon, I would go rent like some random console game like NBA 2K14 or something, you know, like the brand new basketball game just came out. And I'm not going to like buy it and get into seasons and be playing people online. But I might walk by a Redbox machine at my local grocery store and I see NBA 2K14 or, you know, whatever it happened to be. And I might be like, yeah, you know, let me rent this for a couple of days and just see what the latest state-of-the-art, you know, how good is the newest basketball game out that's out there. And I'll get the game, come home to my house, I pop the disc into my PlayStation 4, And it's like, I got to sign into some email bullshit. And I'm like, oh my God, let me just play the game. I just rented this. I'm not trying to do a season. I'm not trying to sign into whatever special thing 2K game. I just want to play the game. Like, I just want to play the game. And you literally, this drove me damn near insane. I was about to snap the disc in half, like straight up, no joke. I could not bypass the email screen no matter what I did. I tried to put in a fake email. That didn't work. It wouldn't accept the fake email. And I'm like, I don't want to make no goddamn 2K account. Oh my God, I hate that stuff. And see, Rec Room, in the very beginning, Rec Room didn't do any of that. Like, I got into Rec Room. It didn't ask me for anything. But nowadays, if you get into Rec Room, I think if you're a brand new player for Rec Room, I think you can't even get into the game without an email, which is like, I hate that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's the old man in me. I don't know what it is, but I cannot stand that crap, especially when I just am trying to rent a game. I'm just trying to see it for a couple of minutes, and I can't even just get into the game. Like, I can't even just get into like an exhibition thing. So anyway, that is Rec Room. The monetization hath begun. All right, I told you I was going to bounce through a lot of these stories incredibly quickly, and that has been true. Man, I got through basically almost every story I have, except for the Walmart story. So yeah, there is a Walmart thing that is going on. Let's bounce over here to Road to VR, and you can see that Walmart is apparently bringing a special How to Train Your Dragon thing to some select Walmart stores. And this is being brought to us by DreamWorks and Spatial. I don't know if that's like Spatial Ampersand. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just called Spatial something. But Walmart has a company. Okay, Spatial Ampersand. Is that really what it is? Spatial Land. Okay, it is. It is Spatial Ampersand. Spatial and Immersion. The and is the beginning, okay? Yeah. Okay, see, they got the Oculus Go there. So yeah, Walmart's doing some weird stuff. Like, Walmart is definitely doing some weird stuff. Like, Walmart has a few different stores where they're like experimenting with all this like futuristic type shit, which is kind of cool. I kind of like the fact that Walmart is investigating this type of stuff. So Walmart is probably screwing around with AR, VR, and all of that. So this was a collabo type of a situation between Walmart and DreamWorks Interactive and How to Train Your Dragon. And so basically, it's a tour. It's this big 18-wheeler truck that is going to be going to all these places, and the guests are going to be outfitted with HP Windows mixed reality headsets. The brand new Copper is going to be there. Just kidding, I wish. No, it is not Copper. It is the original HP Windows mixed reality headset, and it's going to have a Elite Motion sensor that's added to it, and then you're going to be sitting in specialized positron Voyager motion chairs that are powered by the Hewlett-Packard VR backpack. Let's click on this positron motion chair thing. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World Virtual Tour. Yeah, I've seen these chairs different places. These kind of chairs. I didn't know it was like a whole entire thing. I didn't know like there was actually a company that was specifically doing these chairs, but I guess there is. Okay, so that is that. I did grab the trailer for this, so why don't we go ahead and check out the trailer real quick. How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, they got a brand new movie. I'm assuming this brand new movie opens up today, because this How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, this virtual tour, it's visiting select cities, and it's starting today on February 15th. This is the first day. It's running through April 9th. And Road to VR has a list of all the tour locations and dates. And looking at it, it's mostly California, Nevada, Texas, and Arkansas. So if you're not in one of those 4 states, you're basically boned. Right now on February 15th, today and tomorrow, it is going to be in Burbank, California at the Walmart at 1301 North Victory Place. And it's bouncing over to Pico Rivera, California. It's going to hit Anaheim, home of the mouse. That is going to be February 22nd. Then it goes to San Bernardino. Then it hits Vegas It hits regular Las Vegas, then it hits North Las Vegas. Oh, Arizona. So there's another 5 states. Glendale, Arizona, Gilbert, Arizona, then it goes to San Antonio, Texas, Allen, Texas, Grand Prairie, Texas, blah, blah, blah. Then we get into Arkansas as well. So yeah, this is basically like an 18-wheeler truck that they're bringing to these places, and you go through an entire interesting kind of little VR experience. Why don't we go ahead and check that trailer out and see what it's all about? So I'm going to go ahead and bounce back over here to our standard scene. I'm going to pump up the volume on this blank window here. And let's grab that trailer.
Transfer your passengers and tell their captain to come at once. We require urgent assistance.
Okay, How to Train Your Dragon, this new How to Train Your Dragon is actually February 22nd. I thought maybe it was today. But yeah, it's kind of cool that they have these headsets and they add the Leap Motion to it as well. It looks like they have some fans that blow on you at certain points in the experience. And the experience is only, I saw somewhere on here, it's a 5-minute journey into the hidden world. So it's only a 5-minute journey, and it says that it's high-res images and 360-degree videos. So it's not even actually an animated thing. It's like mixing high-res images and 360 videos, and then the motion chair, the wind, and all of that. And then also there's going to be a special little shop. There's going to be actually like a gift shop as well. All of this is going to happen out front, in front of a Walmart, in these different locations where people can come out there. But it's too bad it doesn't feature the, their copper headset, because then you'd actually maybe have a reason to stand in line to try to see what 2160 by 2160 per eye looks like. But these are going to be the original RoboCop Hewlett-Packard Windows mixed reality headsets. I always feel like they kind of, this one, especially the Hewlett-Packard Windows mixed reality headset, reminds me a bit of RoboCop. But yeah, I've seen these chairs. I've seen chairs that look like that in a lot of VR arcades, and I thought it was just trying to have like some futuristic, cool looking kind of a chair to be like, oh, it's VR, man, and you're in a cool chair as well. But no, I guess these chairs are actually kind of going the D-Box route. So yeah, that is a collabo between Special and DreamWorks, Spatial and DreamWorks. And yeah, that's the thing that they're bringing out to all these different Walmarts. They're going to have like a little tent that pops up, and then they put people in there, and then they have a little gift shop that you can go into after that. So if you're in Southern California, if you're in Las Vegas, or maybe possibly Texas, Arkansas, or Arizona, you might be able to check that out and see what that's all about. But that is the Walmart How to Train Your Dragon experience. Okay, so you know what? Now that I've gone through all of that, I think that's pretty much what I have for now in terms of the stories that I have prepped. Now, what we can do is we can go ahead and check out the mailbag, because I haven't done that in a minute. So let's go ahead and bounce back over to our Webby browser here. And yeah, let's go to the mailbag. I haven't really checked out the mailbag in a while. Let's go to let's just go to yesterday's show and see if we have any mailbag on yesterday's episode. Let's see. So we got Shiny Robot, and he's your own workplay Iron Wolf, so immersive. Yeah, so Iron Wolf Yeah, some people did talk. We're talking about Iron Wolf during chat. I believe Jesse Benson was saying Iron Wolf is extremely immersive. I've never tried Iron Wolf. I'd like to check that out at some point. Alan Harrington, okay, he says, oh my God, you are like Jensen, trying to tell us we need ray tracing. Not yet. Come back to us with AR and RTX in 10 years when the tech can handle it at a reasonable price. Yeah, you know what? I did get some extra downvotes, and I think it's kind of, every once in a while I do go onto this VR kick where I basically are telling people that you guys have no freaking idea how much VR is coming for that ass. But you know what? I'm not going to get into it again today. And I know a lot of people don't believe me, but in 5 years, you will know so very much about that. Okay, so yeah, we only got 4 comments yesterday. Wasn't really popping off. So let's go ahead and go back to VR 365. Let's go. Actually, let's check out. Let's see if we got some comments on our very first Community Spotlight episode with Shantomio, who joined us from Holland. Only 2 comments on this. See, these comments, man, not really working, bro. We need more comments. Just a couple of comments ain't gonna work. Alan Harrington, again, he said he really hit the nail on the head when he complained about having no personal friends with VR. How many of us do? Every friend I show are very impressed, but none have ever bought. It's so sad. Yeah, you know, this is a bit of a Debbie Downer. We need to get to the bottom of this at some point, because I know that MainFan, like a lot of people have mentioned that they've shown VR to a whole bunch of their friends, and MainFan has even told the story of one of his buddies. He bought like a Rift and everything. He used it for about a month and never uses it again. And that is one of the most damning things you could possibly say for VR, because usually one of our biggest rallying cries in regards to VR and people that haven't tried it is we say, well, you haven't tried it. That once people try it, they'll understand what the magic is all about, and their world will be changed forever. But apparently that isn't true with everybody, and I don't understand why it isn't true with everybody. But there's so many little variables that we have to consider here. First of all, what experience did you put the person into? Like, that's a factor. Were they scared about motion sickness and getting dizzy before they went into it? Like, did they even allow themselves to enjoy it? There's so many other little variables that go along with it, but it is kind of bizarro world when you do find somebody, you let somebody try it for the first time, and it doesn't do it for them. And it's like, man, because I always thought that that was the main thing that was hurting us, is that so many people just haven't tried it. Or maybe they tried cardboard, or they tried something kind of lame. Let's see, MainFan says, 2 of my friends have PC VR. Okay, this is what MainFan is talking about. Okay, 2 of his friends have PC VR. They both stopped playing. One of them says it takes too much energy and he wants to relax. Yeah, that's a good point there. The other says he doesn't have enough space and has a baby that, yeah. See, it's always something. It's always something. But you know what? Part of it is there's times where I think about playing VR, and it's a laziness factor. Even though I have like my Oculus Rift right now at this very moment in time, my Oculus Rift is laying right there on my carpet. My Oculus Touch controllers are sitting right there. All I have to do to get up and running, although this didn't work for me yesterday, and I was trying to get up and running, and it didn't work for me, but all I have to do normally is come in here, pick up the headset, put it on. Usually that automatically activates the Oculus software, usually. I pick up my controllers, you know, hit a button on the controllers, and usually that springs them to life. And then within a couple of minutes, I can be up and inside a VR game. But even with that, I will fully admit that every once in a while, I will like look at it and I'll think about it and I'll be like, nah, I'm not going to play. I'm going to go like work on VR Game Rankings website, or I'll go watch something on Netflix, or you know, sometimes I will just say no, and that's all it is. It's putting on a headset, it's hitting a couple buttons. Sometimes I do have problems with the Oculus audio. You know, I'm not hearing audio in my headphones, and I got to go over to my PC. I got to do something like that. But it's a friction thing. There is a definite friction thing that is going on here. And MainFam said one of those guys actually sold his PSVR. They actually got rid of it. Then you also have the factor of all the cables and wires. Like, we're not even getting into the cable. See, I have a dedicated room here. Not everybody has a dedicated room. There are just so many little factors. It's hard to figure this out. Now, Fluke says, with my friends, it's the lack of content that they want. I still have 2 friends with Rifts and 1 with the PlayStation VR. They barely use it anymore. 2 others have already sold their Rifts. Oh my God, this is like VR is dead. You know, VR is dead. If we're we're talking about this stuff, it almost sounds like VR really is dead. Did VR die, guys? And we're the last ones to find out? Because it almost sounds like VR is dead with some of this stuff. Let me go ahead and switch off this trailer here. Hold on a second. We'll grab some rando trailer. Let's see here. Rando trailer. Where can we go? How about Groundhog Day? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man, this is really a conundrum. This is really a problem. Okay, so Rudel Zavedno says, resolution is not high enough. It's like looking through binoculars and I get all sweaty. That's what my friend told me when he borrowed his Odyssey. And Greg's VR says, that's one of the reasons why I like VR sim racing. Don't need to stand up and stuff. Well, yeah, the other complaint was somebody didn't, it's too much energy and they want to relax. Yeah, this is something that people will say too, is that basically, you know, they work all day. They come home from work and they kind of just want to kick back on a couch and they just want to hold a controller in their hand. And as immersive as VR is, where you get boots on the ground and you're in that world, you got a sword in one hand, you got a shield in the other, and you got a world that completely envelops you. I think part of the issue is it's a honeymoon period. And then when that honeymoon period expires, then it's all this other stuff starts rearing its ugly head. And then that's when we get into a problem here. MainFan says VR is on life support. King Hell says the content still isn't the best. See, another issue we have too is like my sons, right? My teenage sons, they aren't interested in VR. They've seen VR a couple of times, they've tried VR a couple of times, but ultimately they've gone back to their old stuff. And for them, what it is there's no game like Fortnite. There's no games, the kind of games that they play, like Apex Legends, Apex Construct, no, Apex Legends, Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto 5, all they play is online multiplayer stuff with all of their buddies. And now you could say, well, hey, just wait until Population 1 comes out. When Population 1 comes out, then we will have that Fortnite game that everybody's dreamed about, right? And then everything will work. And then my teenagers will keep bothering me about playing Population 1. But no, it's not going to work like that. And here's why. None of their buddies are going to have an Oculus Rift. None of their buddies are going to have HTC Vive. So even if we have that Population 1 game, even if it does deliver that Fortnite experience that a lot of people are looking for, it doesn't matter because none of their buddies have it. And they want to be with their buddies. They want to play online with their buddies. It's a problem. This is a real problem, guys. This is I don't have a good solution to this problem. Like, I've thought about, like, how are we eventually like, what is going to be the key? Prawn, okay, Prawn, Littlstar VR. Maybe Prawn will bring them in eventually when Prawn gets so good that will help. I don't know. Is it resolution? Is it field of view? I do believe we are going to get to a day where the resolution is so good, and field of view is wide, where the guy that works all day long, right? The guy that works all day and he comes home from work and he just wants to relax, you know, he just wants to drink a beer, watch a little bit of some Netflix, maybe throw on Apex Legends or something while he sits on the sofa. You know, but I think there's going to be a day where that guy works all day long. He has his beer, but then he's going to put that VR headset on because it's so effing compelling, because the visuals are so good. We are eventually, we're going to get to a point where it is so freaking compelling that all these little issues we're talking about, it's all going to wash away. You know, it's all going to blow away. Unfortunately, we might be like 5, 6, 7 years away from that point. And the thing that sucks about that is those of us that are all in on this VR thing, and we simply, there's a lot of us. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I can't go back to flat. I've gone back to flat games. I've played Horizon Zero Dawn. I played Horizon Zero Dawn because it was 4K and I had a 4K TV and I wanted to see what the 4K crap was all about. I rented Horizon Zero Dawn when it first came out. I played it for a couple of hours. I was sitting there playing it, and I started to think to myself, maybe I should go back to Flatland. Maybe I should give these flat games another chance. And then I played it like another hour, and I realized, no, these flat games, they're missing something. They're hollow. They don't have what I need. And it's because I'm not in the world. And I couldn't stop thinking, as I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn, I couldn't stop thinking how everything would be so much better if it was in VR. And then eventually I just had to stop it. And I just had to go back to VR. I can't play flat games. Some of you guys can play flat games. I kind of envy you people that can play flat. It's kind of like, the way I think of it is like when I first got a PlayStation, I couldn't go back and play the Genesis. I couldn't go back and play the Super Nintendo. I got the PlayStation. I got a Sega Saturn. I can't go back to Genesis and Super Nintendo. I've seen a new world. I've been to a new world. I can't go back. It's kind of like you get color TV. You don't want to go back to black and white. But I'm kind of amazed that there's a lot of people that just mix and match flat gaming, VR gaming, and it's all gaming to them. They can play flat games, they can play VR games. I can't go back. I'm screwed. I am so screwed because we're going to be in the trough of disillusionment for a long time. For a long time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be in this trough of disillusionment for a lengthy period of time because the evidence is in chat right now. The evidence is in chat based on people that have bought PSVRs. They're collecting dust. They bought an Oculus Rift. Now they've sold an Oculus Rift. That's evidence, man. We cannot pretend that these things are not happening. We need to look these things right in the eye, and we need to figure out what the hell the problem is. We've got a problem in VR. We've got a problem of friction. We've got a problem with all these wires and everything. We've got a resolution problem. We've got a thing on our face problem. We've got a content problem from the standpoint that people can't get all the games that they really want in Flatland in VR yet. So some of the games just aren't there. Like if you're a Grand Theft Auto 5 nut, what are you playing in VR? Nothing. There's nothing for you. We've got a lot of problems, guys. We've got a lot of problems. But anyway, I was trying to do some mailbag, and then I got distracted by all of that. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the mailbag. Not a lot of stuff. Oh, this guy's saying, Vrilya SS says, never heard of that trick. What is it called? I don't know what the trick was called, but basically you took like a straw. I know you guys have to remember this. Way back in the PlayStation days, PlayStation 1, this was back in days when I did things I was not supposed to do. And Jim Hall, or someone in chat, keep having problems with one of my eyeballs here. But Jim Hall in chat was like, piracy. I can't believe Anthony did. Dude, this was like 20 years ago. Okay, this was in the mid-90s. And it was for a very brief time. Yes, I've done piracy. Oh my God, the cops. The cops, where's the cops? Like, somebody arrest me. I've pirated something. Oh my God, I've pirated something. The FBI, come get me, guys. Come lock me up right now. I've pirated something. Let the first person that has never pirated anything throw a giant ass stone at me. Because you know what? In a planet of 7 billion, well, no, I'm not going to even go down that road. Okay, maybe there's somebody that has never pirated anything. But basically, the trick is you got a straw. You got your everyday straw, right? You popped open that PlayStation lid, and there was like a button there was like a button that was in there, so you made it seem like the lid was closed, and then the PlayStation disc was like spinning around, and you basically had to learn this. You had to be like a really badass mofo, because what you had to do is you had to pop the disc off. Like, it would load up some little PlayStation thing, you would pop the disc off at the right moment, and you'd put your burn disc in there, and then bada boom, bada bing, you're playing a pirated PlayStation game. People did that back in the days. And it was like, we called it the straw trick. I guess we called it the straw trick. I can't remember what we called it, but that's what it was. That's what I'm talking about back there. Okay, let's go back to, let's check out this episode. This was a couple of days ago. Let's see if there were any interesting comments on this one. This is when we had Audica announced coming on March 7th, and I talked about Eden Tomorrow quite a bit. And I got to get back into Eden Tomorrow a little bit more. Oh yeah, so a lot of the comments on this one are going to be whether it's a chick or a guy. And I think we can safely say this is a chick with short hair, and you know, I made a mistake. My apologies. It's a chick with short hair. I got thrown off because this chick, dude, she's got some powerful arms. I wish my arms were as built as hers, and that threw me off. You know, it was my fault. Okay, I Am Rhett says, think it might be a chick, not a guy in the Audica. Looks like a chick with short hair. Yeah. Okay, and then he says, Anthony, make sure you go into the Wizards on March 11th and March 12th. Get a fresh look at what it looks like right before you see the update. Oh, okay. So he's saying make sure I go into the Wizards before the update. Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering, I don't know that I have access to the Wizards. Like, I don't know if I have that on any one of the different accounts that I have. I might have gotten some kind of preview thing, and then maybe it, like, because sometimes you'll get a code from a developer way ahead of when the game comes out, and then somehow when the game comes out, your code like vanishes and now you no longer have access to the game. That happened to me with Blade and Sorcery. It's happened to me with a number of different games where it's like you get a preview code, but then as soon as the game is available, bam, your code just vanishes into thin air. And I think that may have happened with the Wizards, so I probably would have to either buy it or get another code for it or something. I'll have to double check on that. Okay, Alan Harrington says Space Junkies is going to be full pop. Full pop. Yeah, see, when we were talking about Space Junkies getting this March 26th date, what I didn't realize at the time this was all going on is that in the Oculus store it had the pre-order $39.99, and I think I was mentioning in this episode, I was mentioning that it's going to depend on what the price of Space Junkies is, because you can get Echo Combat for $10, $9.99. Echo Combat is $9.99. Space Junkies seems very similar to Echo Combat to me. Are you going to pay 4 times the amount of money for Space Junkies, or are you going to get Echo Combat, or are you going to skip both of them and just get Contractors VR or something else altogether? I don't know. $39.99 is a lot. Space Junkies looks good. It plays good. It's very colorful. It's probably a great game, but damn, $39.99 is quite a bit. I'm wondering what you guys think about that $39.99. Yeah, look at Jay Pace in chat. He's like, what? He's like, get the F out of Dodge with that $39. Because if you're going to be $39.99, you better be Lone Echo 2. You better be Stormland. Maybe Population 1. You know, maybe Population 1. You better be like Asgard's Wrath. You better be a big ass banger of a game if you're coming in at $39.99, because that is expensive. They'll sell to a handful of like hardcore multiplayer guys that really love that 2-on-2 action. They're going to get some sales. They will get some sales, but I think it would behoove Ubisoft Montpellier to drop that price to $29.99. I think when someone sees that 3 on that first digit, they're going to be like, whoa, whoa, hold back, baby. Where it should be a 29.99, which is still way too high, but still. Okay, Jay Benson says, Audica seems like a mix of Rez with Beat Saber. I think Main Fan live in chat says it's Space Pirate Trainer and Beat Saber had a baby. And throw a little bit in of Ikaruga. Throw a little bit of Ikaruga in there. It's Ikaruga, it's Space Pirate Trainer, and it's Beat Saber. You put them all in a blender, you get Audica. Audica looks pretty dope. Audica looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty awesome. Again, though, what's going to be the price of Audica? You know, what is that price going to be? We're wondering about prices here. I Am Rhett says, Anthony, hopefully you'll see this, LOL. Oh, okay, yeah, let's get into this. Okay, he says, Megaton Rainfall does not need to be seated. In fact, the immersion you always talk about is so much better if you are standing. Also, you really need to go back into this game and use the touch controls. Take a few seconds to figure out the controls before writing them off, brah. They work really well, and it actually does add to the immersion. I feel like you're getting 50% of the game by sitting and using an Xbox controller. Okay, so I Am Ruts. Here's the thing I got to break down. I played Megaton Rainfall way back when it hit PlayStation VR. That's where I primarily played Megaton Rainfall. And when it came to because it was on PlayStation VR like a year before it hit everything else. And so like it was real late to the party, finally coming to Oculus Rift and HTC Vive and all of that way the hell later. I played it on PlayStation VR. I played it with a DualShock 4 controller. I played it sitting down and I had a wonderful time with the game. Now, when I got the Oculus Rift version, I was excited. I was excited about the idea of being an actual Superman and like doing this and, you know, doing that and like being the Superman guy. I was excited about that. I was like, oh, this is going to be a whole new way to play Megaton Rainfall. This is going to be awesome. And so what I did was I got into Megaton Rainfall on the Oculus Rift and I was trying to do the Superman controls like with the actual motion controllers. And I spent about 4 or 5 minutes doing it, and I was like, hell no, this is a complete and utter waste of time. I'm not controlling myself well. It's not worth it. And then I sat down and I used an Xbox controller, and it worked great. I totally agree with you, I Am Ruts. I agree with you 100% that standing up is a million times better than sitting down for almost anything. Any game I get where you're supposed to be standing up, I play it standing up. I don't care if it's a DualShock 4 controller. I don't care if it's an Xbox 360 controller. There's a lot of people that if they're using a regular controller, they automatically sit down. No, not me. I'll play The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, there's no motion controls for that. You got to use a wireless Xbox controller or a wired Xbox 360 controller from back in the days, hooked up to your PC. I stand up, I hold the controller, I push forward with the thumbstick, I turn my body this way, I push forward, I turn my body that way. I stand up. I want to be in the world, man. I'm standing up. Same thing with Resident Evil 7. I would never in my life play Resident Evil 7 sitting down in a chair. That is so wrong. It is so very wrong. You're in a game. You're in a world. I don't care that it's a controller. It doesn't mean automatically sit down. No, standing up is what immersion is all about. Boots on the ground, baby. It's all about those boots on the ground. But when it comes to Megaton Rainfall, it didn't work, man. I tried all the Superman stuff. I tried to do the Superman stuff. Now, maybe I just needed to spend another 10 minutes to get used to the controls. Maybe I gave up too fast. But I gave it a few minutes. I really did. And I was like trying to do this and then trying to go down and then trying to do this and then trying to go down. And I'm like, it's not really working. You know, no, when I play it with a controller, I'm instantly going up. I have perfect control. I don't feel like I have control. And then when I'm trying to shoot things, it's not shooting where I want to shoot it. No. I disagree. I completely disagree, I Am Ruts. But I will admit, I didn't give it like 15 minutes. I gave it like 5 minutes. I did give it 5 minutes. I swear to you, I gave it 5 minutes. Okay, PB says, on the Audica trailer, the dude, it's a real girl. She is just more in shape than 99% of us. Yeah, that's pretty much what the reality was there. Let's see. Scion says, honestly, I don't mind the regular show having an interview. It adds variety to the daily show. I see your point about some people only wanting news, but generally, those people are the ones who complain that they only want a 10-minute episode. That's true as well. Now, here's what I'll say about like interviews and all of this. So like Gary, like Reckoner VR, or like Steve Bishop, or Main Fan, or some of the people could call in and be on VR365, and we'll talk about news. Like if Epic's 911 came on our show, you know, it would, like, he would come on and we'd be talking about news. We'd be talking about the stories of the day. That would not be a community spotlight. Community spotlight is for, like, say, Jay Pace. Let's say Jay Pace comes on our show one day, and it's all about Jay Pace, and I'm talking to Jay Pace about his gaming history. I'm talking to Jay Pace about how did he get interested in VR in the first damn place, and I'm talking to Jay Pace about dealing with friction, and I'm talking to Jay Pace about how his friends don't really care about VR, and I'm talking to Jay Pace about this, and I'm talking to Jay Pace about that, about Tesla and all this kinds of stuff, right? So that would be on the community spotlight show. But if I have like Reckoner VR, like Gary or Steve or Chris, virtually Chris, or Main Fan or somebody, they can hop on a regular episode and we'll just talk about news. But we're not going to get into all that background stuff. That background stuff is going to be on community spotlight. Yeah, Jay Pace, you're coming on, right? Next Tuesday, you're coming on, right? Just kidding. But no, if somebody does want to come on, just go ahead and email me, info@vrgamerankings.com, and I will get you into the queue, okay? We will get you into the queue to be on the show. So that was Scion VR. VR_gamers, he's talking about Eden tomorrow. Not what I expected. It will pull you in. It did it for me. No spoilers, but it was a fascinating game experience. I don't usually play games in this genre, but I must say it grew on me. Okay, one of the things I forgot to mention when I was talking about Eden tomorrow, I think I may have touched it briefly, very briefly. Do you know what the star of the show is for Eden tomorrow? The star of the show is Newton. It's that little robot guy. And I think I mentioned it briefly, but I don't think I dialed into it. Dude, that robot is so animated and has so much personality, and just his little robot hands. Like, he has these little robot hands that are floating out here, but he'll do different things with his hands, where he'll go like this and he'll go like that. And he does all these little expressive things with his hands, which are really cool. The voice of Newton the robot is cool. Everything about Newton the robot is cool. You can take over you can possess that robot through some kind of neural link, and you're like zooming through these little tunnels, and you're zooming around. And there's certain parts of Eden tomorrow that are incredibly impressive and very cinematic and super enjoyable. But I also felt like it's not much of a game. It's an interactive experience. But I got to get back in there, because I actually have not been back in there. Here's a confession. I have not been back into that game since that very first day I got past where you get to in the demo. I got a little bit further past that, and I haven't been back into it. So I absolutely have to get back into Eden tomorrow, because it's only 4 or 5 hours or whatever. I need to bang that puppy out. And also, I should probably do a Let's Play covering some of the stuff that's after that demo. So I'm definitely going to get back into Eden tomorrow, and I'll definitely do another Let's Play for that. I Am Rhett says, Audica, meh. I don't think it looks that good, to be honest. Maybe it will be amazing, but I doubt it. I think it looks very good. I just hope the price is like ideally, I think Audica would be like $19.99, $24.99. I hope Harmonix doesn't start thinking this is Rock Band 2.0 and they're going to price it at like $29.99. I think they got to come in a nice little price range, and I think a lot of people will give it an opportunity. That's March 7th. It's not that far away. I'm excited for Audica. I think it's going to be sweet. Okay, Billy Gunn says, I think it's pronounced Pooh. That would be Patrice Pooh, who is it could be pronounced Pooh. Patrice Pooh was our 5th Patreon supporter. Much love to Patrice. I appreciate that so incredibly much. Hassan H says, you misgendered her. I should be removed from this show immediately for that. Dude, that just happened live on air. I thought it was a dude wearing some funny leather pants, okay? I mean, don't hate me for that. Like, I was too busy watching this dude's butt, okay? What does that say about me? I don't know. Okay, now we're on Chris. Chris is saying, first of, how can you guys seriously don't see it's a girl in the Audica trailer? It was embarrassing, to be honest. It's super obvious. As for the game, I think Audica looks pretty good. Looks like one of the better audio shooting games. We got 3 replies to this because, yeah, it's embarrassing. A_Gilling, have to agree, was pretty cringy watching everyone lay into her. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm doing this show live, man. I'm doing this show live, and when you're doing something live, you can make mistakes. You can make terrible mistakes. You can say the wrong things. You're doing it live. I mean, I'm doing it live. I feel like I have a, like, I thought it was a dude initially. I'm sorry. I thought it was a dude. A_Gilling, I know. I mean, it's 2019. Just because someone has short hair does not automatically make it a man. Very cringe indeed. Okay, but remember who's doing this, all right? I'm not 25, y'all. I've been around for a minute. I'm in my 40s, okay? I'm in my 40s. I'm not 25. And from my old world, okay, no, let's not. I'm not even going to go there. Okay. VR_gamers, just a bunch of old guys showing their age, some with failing eyesight and no understanding of what is currently fashionable. Yeah, okay, God, we're just getting so much into that. Like, I don't know why we're going so far into whether that... I was joking around. I was having fun, okay? Sometimes I'm going to try to joke and be silly and sarcastic and those kinds of things, and that was all part of that. So, you know, give me some slack here. Alrighty, guys, well, you know what? We've actually been going for about an hour here. Getting into the mailbag definitely took us to the hour mark. So let's go ahead and go back over here to our standard scene here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my outro logo and I'm going to sign out of here because I've got to play some Eden tomorrow. I've got to do another LP, another Let's Play for some Eden tomorrow. And maybe some other stuff. You know, Gorn has a new update that's pretty cool. MainFan's been in the new update. There's some good things with that. MainFan mentioned that he went into Zing, the Land Beyond, and could not find the new area that has the ice area. But that's something I want to go into as well. And so, yeah, there's a lot of games that have a lot of updates. Iron Wolf VR has that open world update. You know, Rec Room, now you can spend money in Rec Room. So there is a lot of different little updates, things that are going on. I want to get into some of this stuff. So I am going to go ahead and bounce out of here. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this particular episode of VR365. I will be back tomorrow on Saturday. Now, of course, remember, Saturday, we start at noon Pacific. So remember, Saturday is at noon Pacific, but I will be back tomorrow, Saturday, at around noon Pacific. See you guys then. Have a wonderful Friday. Take it easy. Later.